Whew. The incredible thing in a tie with away goals is how quickly and how dramatically the complexion of a tie can change. I don't think people would have been happy with the performance at 1-0, and I don't think they should be. It wasn't particularly good, but I think they would have been content with the result. Having conceded an equaliser in the dying moments of the game, this pivots immediately to a pretty poor result, a bad result, one that Slavia Prague will be absolutely delighted with. I'll just start by saying how disappointed I am to not really put them to the sword tonight, not because they're a bad team. I'm sure they're a very decent team. They've beaten Leicester, who are very arguably better than us. All the reports I've read have suggested they're a fairly competent side. But given what went on with them and Glasgow Rangers and former Arsenal player Glenn Kamara, I was pretty desperate to see Arsenal show these guys up and produce a performance. And from that perspective, it's very disappointing to give them what will feel like a victory to them. There's a lot we could say about the opening 77 minutes of this game. Mikel Arteta received a lot of criticism after the Liverpool match. I think most of it justified. I think he's going to get a lot more tonight, and I think it would possibly be more fair tonight in some ways, because when you look at the impact the substitutes made late in the second half, when you look at the danger and threat the likes of Martinelli, Aubameyang, Pepe offered in behind, you have to wonder what sort of impact they might have made from kickoff. The decision to start Lacazette over Aubameyang was a big call, and I don't think it was the right one. And I think the pattern of the game bore that out. I think the idea was for Lacazette to kind of drop in as one of the two 10s with Willian and with Smith Rowe spinning out from the centre to run in behind on the left, Saka getting in behind on the right. Of those things, I'd say only Saka getting in behind on the right worked with any regularity. And to be honest, he absolutely should have scored in the first half. I think we missed David Luiz. I think if you think how many times Saka got in on that right flank, imagine if with Luiz at the right side of the centre half, how many more times it might have been. I think Willian's reluctance to run in behind was problematic for us, especially given that Cedric wasn't inclined to go on the overlap from left back. I think Thomas Partey had one of his worst games in an Arsenal shirt. He looked raw, rusty, his passing was bad. Yeah, there was a lot wrong. All that said, I can't help but feel that Arsenal should have won this game pretty comfortably. There were some very good chances. The Saka one I've mentioned. And by the way, you know, Pepe comes on and shows exactly what he has that Saka still doesn't. And there's a lot Saka has that Pepe doesn't have. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying one's a better player than the other, but Pepe can be a killer in those situations. Saka's not a killer yet. He needs to develop that. I'm sure he can. But nevertheless, we should have scored more goals in this game. Saka chance. Lacazette wins the ball on the halfway line. For some reason, decides to go for the postage stamp right in the top corner when he's got a huge area of the goal to aim at. Aubameyang came off the bench and had a decent chance on his left foot. Lacazette had another one in the first half where he sort of skewed it from the edge of the box. There were chances. And I think we could have easily come away from this game with a 1 or 2-0 win, thinking, look, it wasn't pretty. We're a team lacking in confidence. We got a lot wrong tactically, but at least we got the result. And having got that goal, having been sort of granted that reprieve effectively, to concede like that is terrible. And there's a lot that goes into it. Cedric plays a back pass towards Gabriel. He doesn't need to play. Gabriel takes a very heavy touch. The marking on the set piece that follows is poor. Arsenal have been given a warning. The guy Leno tips a shot onto the post, yet still the concentration isn't there. I mean, Charles Watts posted about Granit Xhaka coming off the pitch, swearing at his teammates, asking why the defenders couldn't just clear the ball away. They will be gutted. Mikel Arteta will be furious, but this is on him too, this result. He got a lot wrong in his selection. He had 5 substitutes. He only made 1 for the first 77 minutes. I just can't stop thinking about that equaliser and how costly it could prove. Arsenal are still good enough to go through here. They'll have to play quite a lot better than they did tonight. But they are good enough to go through. It's just infuriating that their position should be stronger than it is. And Arteta is entering dangerous territory. If he does not progress past this round of the Europa League, he's in a very difficult position at that point. And I think, well, I think his position's already been debated, but I think it will come under much more significant debate. Because although Prague are a decent side, this is a tie Arsenal should progress from, and it is sort of the last chance to salvage something from their season. And if Arteta cannot navigate this round, and to be honest, navigate, I think, at least to the final, serious questions are going to be asked by the supporters, myself among them. Madness. What a club. By the way, just a last note, I feel terribly sorry for Nicola Pepe. I feel like every time he does something good in an Arsenal shirt, something bad comes along to overshadow it. He's got a brilliant goal at Brighton, overshadowed by defeat. Similarly at Wolves, wonderful individual goal. We had a man sent off, lost the game. Tonight, he should be there as the match winner because he was clinical, he was cool when nobody else in this Arsenal team really was. I'll leave it there. Oh, dear. Bye.